Do some sign
Can
language.
you guys hear us?
No, they can't hear you.
Check.
No sound. Okay.
Check.
We noticed.
So down.
Audio.
Yep. And then audio.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo, can you guys hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Damn it, Pete.
It was a joke. We're just messing with everybody.
All right, this isn't our normal setup.
You guys failed a test. You should be able to read my lips.
So
Hey.
welcome back again. We'll re-intro. We are three of us here. We are in New York. We are hanging out, doing a lot of stuff with Dynasty Nerds, planning for the future of the company, all that good stuff. But specifically, we are here right now to answer your questions. What happened on day one? How does it affect fantasy football? And then what we expect to happen here on day two. So, Jared, you started asking us a question. What's our first question here?
Yeah, Elliot Propes asks, how do we evaluate Jaden Reed now with Matthew Golden being drafted in the first round by the Packers?
Yeah, you had a good take on it last night.
So with him there, it's an interesting landing spot. I don't think it's an amazing landing spot for him. And here's the reason. The Packers love to run a lot of 12 personnel. And they use the receivers a lot in blocking, which they would actually remove Jaden Reed from the field when they would do that. So it's a really interesting spot because he's not somebody that would profile as a traditional Z or X for somebody that you would want to help in the running game and things like that. So he's somebody that you would kind of think you would be taking off the field like you would Jaden Reed. So right now, I think what this is it's just further a mess. I think it's a lot of what it was last year where we have no idea week to week who the number one wide receiver is. And I think we're going to be getting a lot more of that this year. So best ball, I think Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed are really good assets. But in season long, you're going to have a hard time knowing what weeks you're going to feel comfortable starting those guys.
Yeah, they have Jontavian Wicks for Dubs, Tucker Kraft. We don't know how Luke Musgrave is going to come back healthy, how they involve him in the offense.
Christian Watson, if he comes back ever.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him in 2025. And you're right. Like, how is this all going to play out? You know, like with Matthew Golden there, when you're on a week-to-week basis, not even comfortable with Jaden Reed, who was a second-round pick. And also the unknown of like Matthew Golden, like how he utilized in Texas. We know he's a good speed receiver, has got very solid hands, struggles a little bit versus press, and when defensive backs get their hands at him. So for Golden, for me, I don't think he moves too much because I had him as, again, a second-round pick, and that was with the assumption of him going in the first round. He did. He just went a spot like most of these guys did, you know, like a spot I didn't overly love. You know, you want a clear path of where's that fantasy production clear path? You just can't use first round pedigree, definitely there in Green Bay. And when you look at a class already full of like, you know, we talked about this a week ago on the Nerd Herd show, where like everybody's identifying these receivers like, okay, Ted McMillan's 2, Mecca's 3, now, okay, Burton's my 4. And that's fine where they rank amongst themselves. But once you insert this entire rookie class into the actual rest of Dynasty Fantasy Football, amongst all those receivers, then where do they line up? We're looking at a lot of people that are outside of, when it's all said and done, startups overall ranks are going to be outside of the top 24 of your dynasty rankings. So, you know, where's Matthew Golden slide in? I mean, you're probably looking right around like that George Pickens range, somewhere around there, you know, looking where you want to kind of gamble and hedge your bet. For me, even there, like I kind of lean a little bit more George Pickens.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. You love the first round capital, but it's been one of the more difficult landing spots to figure out who the guy there is. They drafted him to be the guy. He's going to have an opportunity, but for right now, I have my concerns.
All right. We got another question here. How do you guys feel about the Browns trade? Obviously, that hits home. And Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm happy about is like the amount of drops of alcohol I had consumed for my body yesterday to prepare me for this moment, because as a Browns fan, I'm always prepared for heartache, and the Browns never seem to disappoint in that area of heartache. So I was really excited to get Travis Hunter and be the first, you know, player to see him play defense and offense and get to watch it for my hometown team. And, you know, once they moved out, I knew they were going to kind of match it up with like probably a defensive tackle, because why not? Why not get Ashton Genty? So yeah, just kind of like heartbroken. We'll see how the Mason Graham. Listen, the value is there. Like I have no problem with the trade. The value is there.
Yeah,
you're getting pick 36. You got Mason Graham. If Mason Graham is a Pro Bowler that works out, and somehow the Jaguars miss the playoffs next year, the Browns have 2 picks. Now they go up and get a quarterback they really want and they
Sure.
really like, and not just settling for somebody who's going to have a second round grade.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think for fantasy purposes, it stinks because at one point you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be Travis Hunter, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be Ashton Genty, and then you're like, oh, it's Mason Graham. Cool.
Does this impact Brian Thomas's value at all to you guys?
It
Has to a little bit.
has to a little
But not
bit.
like it's like something like it's negative, like, oh my gosh. I mean,
No.
you literally just saw Liam Cohen make it work with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You know,
Sure.
both got contract extensions out there as well. So
It's up to Trevor Lawrence.
yeah, which I believe in. Trevor Lawrence has been a quarterback one. I think obviously this, one of the biggest winners of Thursday night was Trevor Lawrence, right?
Absolutely.
Now he has Brian Thomas. He's got Travis Hunter.
No
You
excuses.
get the ball
now.
down there, no excuses. And we see every single year, for the most part, there's 2 wide receivers that are wide receiver ones on the teams.
possible.
We've seen it with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. We've seen it with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. We've seen it many other times over the years as well. So
Chase and Higgins, and
well, Higgins has never been a wide receiver one. So calm
he
down.
was 13.
Calm down.
He was 13.
Okay, that's like saying I'm an A+ student. I got straight A's. Well, we got to B+. Well, I mean, come on.
All right, I got another one for you guys.
All right.
How early, or like this says, how early are we taking Hampton and Loveland now? So have they moved up for you guys, given the draft capital?
I mean, I
yesterday?
guess, we were talking pre-draft, Henderson, Hampton. I think right now, unless the perfect spot happens, Hampton is probably 2. It's a great landing spot there. Obviously, year 1 might not get crazy production, but long term, that's an incredible offensive
First round
line
pick, running
with
back.
and it's an offense that wants to run the football. So I think that's a boost for him. Loveland's the trickier one for me. I really like the landing spot overall, but it is a crowded place. Like, it's not a place where he's gonna easily ascend to the top guy, but it's also a new coach. Who knows what the pecking order is going to be under Ben Johnson? So I'm a little closer to neutral on the Loveland, but obviously thrilled about Hampton.
Yeah, this was I would say overall, I mean, Cam Ward in Superflex League, I think he solidifies himself as a value at 1-2, 1-3. I would take Hampton over Hunter. In a vacuum right now, it would be Genty, Hampton, Hunter, and then Ward can go anywhere there. I'd say, I mean, as high as 1-2, I'm totally fine taking them. But
Okay.
I mean, listen, we still have a lot of good action to go. Like, where's Judkins going to end up? Where's Trevor Henderson going to end up? And how high where is he going to go? Will Romesco go in the 3rd round? So there's still a long way to go. But I would say this, for me, the biggest feeling I came away with overall from a dynasty standpoint was like this first round was like tremendously disappointing, right? Like
It was a bit of a bummer.
a lot of people just end up. I mean, honestly, I said those names. Tet McMillan fall in this range, right? Like him going 8 or 9, was it 9? Or
He went 8 to Carolina.
What a great spot for him. Like had that draft pedigree with that situation is
It's another one. And like, I'm really curious to see it's Bryce Young. It's up to Bryce Young because he's going to get targets. I mean, the targets will be there. Absolutely. Just how fantasy friendly is this offense and how well does he perform?
And outside of him though, like, I like Hampton. I like them all long-term, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
Hampton's going to come in there. He's going to play with Najee. Emeka's going to go into a really nice offense, but we probably won't see the true benefits of him being at least the number 1 until 2027.
Yep.
Because Mike Evans being 32, only 1 year guaranteed, probably gone. So not a huge sadness there. We just mentioned Matthew Golden. Colston Loveland goes to Chicago, and he's got to deal with, like you said, Cole Kmet's already there. He's got a top 8 drafted receiver in Roma Dunze and DJ Moore, who just got extended, who's a stud. DeAndre Swift. I still expect him to draft somebody
I think the
in the running
back,
game.
yep.
So, a very talented player and a great creative offense, but like, how many mouths can you feed? And then you got Tyler Warren. Yeah.
Tyler Warren.
Fantastic. Yeah, a fantastic spot, right? An absolute fantastic spot.
Is it though?
Yeah, because he has that one thing that you love out of tight ends, right? Is there a path for you to be the number 1 target?
Sure.
Because if you can reach that path, then that's again Travis Kelsey, Brock Bowers kind of production. That's where you flirt with high-end wide receiver 2 production, low-end wide receiver 1, which is a cheat code in fantasy. So
It is, but is he going to get enough quality targets?
that's the biggest question. Is
There's
it going
a
to be
question here from Liam. Would you take Tyler Warren as early as 103?
I would not.
No.
No.
Probably not. I mean,
Even in tight end
2 point
premium, I
early.
wouldn't.
If it was 2 point per reception, like that much of a bonus, I would. But you're right.
Loveland
It's
or
gonna be
Warren?
how many
Who would you take today?
I would lean I would lean Warren.
I lean Loveland, but it's still very close.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's
clear
close.
path to targets.
One is a much better situation in team, but the other one has a much clearer path to target. So
Yeah, make sure you guys are putting your questions here in the chat. Let's see here. David asks, Henderson best landing spot. Is it the Bears?
I mean, that's a good one.
I think the Bears would be really good. I think the Browns would be really good here. I mean, even the Giants would be a solid situation.
Here's a question. Bilbo's bagging. Is Igbuka this year's a Dunze?
Yeah, he falls into the JSN Odunze. Like, wait a year or two, and he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to kind of wait and see. But going back to Travion real quick before we move on, I would really be interested. I don't think he's going to last that long. I would love for Denver to trade up to get him, though. I think that would just be a dream scenario.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's probably best case
That's
scenario.
the
I think
best
so.
landing spot for one of these running backs.
Yes.
It's a big jump though to get up to where they're going to need to get them.
Yeah, because they're going to be the 20th in the second round, so they would need to jump up probably at least 10 picks.
It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you probably a minimum second round pick next year.
James asks, I have 102 in a super flex tight end premium 12-team league. Who you guys got?
It would be Hampton for me right now.
Hampton?
I think I would take Cam Ward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with either one.
I'd lean either Hunter or Cam Ward, but
Okay.
probably Cam Ward. Go with the quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have no problem. That's the thing. That pick, I think, it didn't get on as murky as I thought. Like, I think it's still tier based for me. Like, if I'm okay at quarterback, right? Like, I have Jordan Love and I got Trevor Lawrence. Like, I'm totally okay taking Travis Hunter there. Or if you want Marlon Hampton, I'm not with that either. First round pedigree,
running back.
a lot of success in the system he's going to play in. So I know it sounds chalky, but I think it's a true tier base because I think the ceiling on all those. I'll say this. I think Travis Hunter has the highest ceiling.
I would.
All of them.
Man, Hampton's ceiling is crazy high in that offense.
It is. It is.
All right. Got another question for you guys. This one is revolving around moving up in his rookie draft. So he has the 105 currently.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys give up a 27 first to move up from 105 to 103 in a tight end premium superflex?
I would not.
Absolutely not.
I'd be the opposite. I would love to move back from 103 to 105 because we even have some guys today that could go there in that 105. That could also be Tet McMillan there at 105. And right now, I don't think 105 is drastically different from 102, 103.
No, I mean, get a little bit more upside. 103, grabbing those. Like I said, you can get Ward, you can get Hampton. But it's not going to be your 27 first.
Rich,
Absolutely not.
I know you and I did this, and for a second there, we were like, do we still love that move? How do you feel now about the move of trading your late 26 first, even if you're at 102?
Significantly better.
Yeah, to move up to 101 to just play it safe, get Genty, get the guy.
Yeah, I thought about that this morning because I know you and I.
We both
Like,
did
oh,
that
this
move.
might have been a mistake. Like if Trevor Henderson goes to the Chiefs, like I just rather have the 1-2 and
Right.
have my first
and have
next
my
year.
first back.
But now that it's all said and done, and all those leagues where I did move the pick, like I feel really
Especially knowing 26 doesn't look great towards the end of that class right now. Like I'm glad just make the safe move, take the stud.
Yeah,
So-
I think one thing I would change, like in all those trades I made, like I was giving away all my 26 first. If I knew it was going to pan out this rocket. And again, we have a long way to go, right?
Mhm.
We knew going into this round 2 and 3 is going where all
That's where the
juice
money
was,
is. Yeah.
because we need to see 4 running backs go to really solidify this first round, right?
Yeah.
For this first round to be like, oh man, this has got a good dynasty rookie draft. It's got some depth. We need 4
At
running backs to
least.
go. We're going to need at least 4 receivers, if not more, to go. We need to see Jalen Royals, Bash, Jalen Knoll,
Higgins.
Luther Burden, Jaden Higgins. We need to see all these guys go here in these day 2 picks. So that's going to add some depth, but more so saying, I think I overvalued, which happens all the time, right? In every rookie draft. I think because of all the running back names, I think we might have overvalued those late picks, right? 11,
We'll see.
111, 112.
Today will tell us because if we if we have 3 running backs go today, yeah, we're hurting.
I think we're going to.
But if we have 6, 7 running backs go today,
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're feeling really good.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
So
I
we got
think this class is still like kind of goes like a full circle. Like we know we talked about the receivers and then tight ends kind of popped up there. Now with Shadur Sanders losing his value in super flex draft, some like this is back to the basics. This is a running back draft. So like this is going to outside of like the tight ends that we like. where are these running backs going to end up? Because this is going to be the heart of the class. Like,
So-
that's where we're going to come away from the
Real
first.
quick, how many do we
really
think go
satisfied.
today? So Travion, Quinshawn, for sure, like no doubt.
Caleb Johnson, I think. goes
Caleb
today.
Johnson, I agree. Dylan Sampson,
I think Dylan Sampson goes today. I think Cam Scatterby goes today.
I think so too. I think those 5, I feel pretty darn confident are all going to go
Tosh
today.
Brooks.
And then we
Not
could see
Tosh
a-
Brooks.
We could see a surprise
We,
because of speed, like a guy like Jaden Blue goes today because of
It's
his
possible.
40 time.
I think
Tootin?
Tootin would be the one that I could see more so even.
All right, let's answer this
potentially
guy's
going.
question real quick.
Don't
He's
tell me
on
what
the
to do.
clock. This drafting right now is not on the clock. So 101 was Genty, 102 went Ward, 10 team super flex. He has the 105.
Okay.
What should he be thinking about doing at 105?
I mean, if he can get Hunter there, yeah. I mean, that's an amazing pick. I have no problem with Henderson there, just assuming that you're going to be able that he's going to be a top 10 pick in the second round. Like I
There's
would
no
be
way.
no for him.
I cannot imagine him slipping out. So obviously, I was wrong on my bold prediction of having 3 runners.
Sure, but it was bold on purpose.
That's why it's called a bold prediction. I do think, I think I would lean Hunter right now, but I think Henderson's going to end up in a really good spot. I love the idea of the Broncos trying to move up and get him.
I would love that.
And obviously, from a selfishly standpoint, I hope the Browns get him because that way I guess
That'd be fun.
I'll have something pleasant to watch on offense in Cleveland, which is
Yep.
not usually the case. It's usually like sitting there watching paint burn around you as your house burns down.
So Rimfire is a good question, just kind of about the process. Could anyone drafted in round 2 jump the players that went in round 1 in your rankings, or all of these first rounders the top of the rookie board?
Yeah,
Good.
for sure. Running backs all day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be honest right now. Almost any running back that goes here on the second and third round will most likely jump Matthew Golden.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Because first round
100%.
pedigree, right? Like, and in the right situation, these guys are going to jump Emeka. Like, listen, I love Emeka. I think he's safe.
Possibly
And
even Tet.
and JSN. I don't. It's gonna be hard to get. Jetson have got a really good land spot and a capital, so we'll see.
I'm not ready to say it's a good landing spot yet. We'll see.
I'm a satisfied customer walking through the door. So, but yeah, I mean, like in the right spots, these running backs, like, okay, Emeka is going to take a year, but we saw what happened to JSN. Like his value slightly depreciated. Like JSN might get Emeka might be able to go out in there and get where the value is going to be. Definitely, if like we're okay in this class, the running backs on day 2 and 3, not only is it going to give you a good upside player to put in your roster in a position of need, but for trade value wise, they're going to be the instant risers, right away. Like who can give me that Bucky Irvin effect to now all of a sudden now I got him here. He's worth a first plus. Now I get more capital in the 27 draft possible and maybe grab an older running back that has a year or 2 left.
Imagine, let's say Travion, he goes to the Browns. Quinshawn goes to the Broncos. Dylan Sampson goes to Washington. There's still a lot of landing spots where the right player with the right fit is going to skyrocket up my board, depending on the round and the fit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So has Shador fallen out of the first round of rookie drafts without first round draft capital, even if Cleveland takes him at the
Yes.
top of the second here tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, even say Cleveland, which it'd be weird if he does it, but like you can't even feel confident about Cleveland taking him at 33. Like that's a long term impact because one, he probably wouldn't start right away. It probably would be Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco, right? Who knows? He does have enough college starts. He has a lot of experience.
Sure.
So he could win the job. But I mean, he would have to win the job and look good year 1 because if that doesn't happen, the Browns are now sitting there with 2 first-round picks next year and a much stronger quarterback class. Him going to second round would no longer deter them whatsoever from going to get a quarterback next year if they feel like say the Browns suck again, which odds historically are going to say we're going to suck again. So they're
Telling me there's a
They have
chance.
another high draft pick. Say they have pick 5 right around there, and they have the Jaguars pick, and say the Jags picks like 12. 5 and 12 are going to get you up to like 1-1 overall.
Let me
1-2
alter the
overall.
scenario slightly, though. What if it's Jalen Milroe at 33? Would you consider him with pick 112?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not either.
I don't think I would, but I don't think it's far off there. I think in the early second, I'm starting to be pretty tempted.
Yeah.
Again, let's see where these running backs go, and they push it
Yeah,
down. I mean,
yeah.
I think if we get a lot of these receivers that go here in the top like 20 picks of the second round, that's gonna be really interesting as well. Like Higgins, Noel, Burden, Jalen Royals, like these guys, Jack Bash. If these guys all get this top, anyone in second round capital in the right situation, that's I'd rather gamble on that than gamble on Jalen Milroe and because Stefanski changed in his offense, right?
Sure.
Or Shedeur Sanders, I feel a little bit more comfortable with because I feel like he runs Stefanski's offense pretty
He would,
well.
I think he would run it very well.
But anywhere else, I mean, the Giants are out now. Like, how many other teams are going to over here and get a quarterback? The Saints, possibly.
Saints, Steelers.
1 QB rookie draft. Would you guys pay a 106 plus your 26 first to move up to 102?
Yes.
Then
Yes.
you're getting Hampton or
Yep.
Hunter. I would pay that.
I would pay that as well. Yeah. Assuming the 106 is your pick, like you're a middle of the road team.
But I'd still rather wait before I hit send and accept on that. I want to see how the draft goes tonight.
How we feel about Tet to the Panthers? Do we hate it? Do we love
Go
it?
ahead.
I like it. I mean, out of a lot of the options there where he could have potentially went, like you knew New England was going to go offensive line. That'd have been fantastic, right? Slides in as the number one. They did take a receiver last year, Xavier Legette, who, but he was picked 32 last year. This is pick 8 overall. This is a massive investment for a franchise that one has lacked a lot of draft capital over the years and needs to fill a lot of holes. So for them to go back-to-back receiver says a lot how they believed in Tet. And listen, this is an offense we saw Adam Thielen find a lot of success. A 32-year-old receiver that isn't fast but has really good ball skills find a lot of fantasy success. So now all of a sudden you peel a full decade back on that onto a bigger, more athletic player like Tet McMillan in this offense. I think there could be a lot of high-end wide receiver 2 success there. Because listen, we want number ones. We want the number one running back who's getting all the carries and the touches. We want the number one target in that offense receiver. Is there any tight end in the offense that worries you? No. Does Xavier Legette necessarily worry you? No. Is Adam Thielen still out there without a wheelchair?
Jalen Coker?
No.
Definitely tells you what they think about that pick with Legette last year, though. I mean,
They're kind of almost resetting.
Yeah, clearly
Almost
it's not going what they thought. And
I mean,
Potentially,
Coker,
it's just
this definitely impacts
listen.
Coker.
This defense is bad, so they're going to be throwing the ball downfield. Like this
Helps Bryce Young.
helps Bryce Young.
it's
a ton
great
as
for Young.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a really for me. Tet McMillan, for where I had him, where I was like taking him right around pick 10. This moves him up pretty significantly for me. Like as much as I love to bet Emeka and how safe he was, like if I'm going to gamble on something, I'd probably gamble on Tet because.
Yeah.
I've said that too. Is most of what I feel about this whole receiving class as a whole outside of Travis Hunter. I think Tet McMillan, one, could be a nice asset for me to hold. But there's certain parts about the game I don't like, but he's producing at a really high level fantasy-wise. Again, this gives me a really good trade asset, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just investing in guys I think they have a high ceiling, but one that can immediately turn around this into a plus for me, right? Because then maybe there's a point kind of like JSN last year where Emeka starts off, he doesn't do anything, and he's balling out, and I can be like, okay, give me Emeka Buka and
Plus.
your first next year. And
Yep.
now I just doubled up on the 2 players I had in the same tier. So I think Tet McMillan for me moves up pretty significantly. Again, a long way to go tonight with the running backs, but I feel Tet is a big. I mean, we kind of predicted he's going to go top 10 anyways, right? I think there's more so the disappointment everywhere else we saw in the first round that also helps move him up.
Yeah. So interesting project
Yes.
here. If Denver
No.
somehow lands Travion tonight, would you slot him in over Marion Hampton?
I don't think I could.
I could.
I would.
Second, but
I liked him more as a player. I mean,
I liked him more
second
as
round
well, but it
Capitals,
was
fine with me.
it was by fractions. Like it was not drastically different for me.
Ours were different.
Yeah, you had Quinchon third. I had Hampton third. So for me, they were close enough that I'm going to take the first round draft capital in arguably the best running offense in the NFL. Like,
Listen,
I'm going to take that.
First round draft capital is unbelievably sexy, right? And it almost locks up the success.
Oh, yeah.
But over the years, we haven't allowed that luxury. Second round draft capital
Second does pretty
has
well.
been extremely successful as well. So the Broncos can get him. And they don't have anybody really in the running game right now. And honestly, they don't have a ton of like dynamic weapons in the receiving game as well. I would absolutely love Trevion Henderson there. Again, a much clearer path to success quicker than Amaro and Hampton. Most likely just because of Najee and they paid him. They're gonna use Najee.
So would he be 102 then for you?
Again, I think he would be in that fall in that tier of Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, and then it'd be Trevor.
And that's
Henderson.
why, like that trade we talked about, like 105. Like,
yeah, if I can move back for the
if
right
I can move
price.
back,
So-
sure.
running back hit rates. First round running backs, they have a 75% chance to hit as a top 12 running back, whereas round 2 running backs have a 26% hit rate.
50% jump. Wow.
Yeah, but when you expand it out to
Sure.
to
Top
the
24.
top 24 finish, it's much closer. First round running backs are 83%. Second round running backs 68%. So
Okay.
those elite guys go in the first round.
Yeah, I like to know like the running backs go at the very top of the second round, like high
Sure.
compared to the
The Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylors,
yeah,
the
split it
Brees
out.
Halls,
Yeah,
like
we're the
those guys were
back ends.
borderline first round picks, but they weren't.
Yeah, and those guys pan out. So
Yeah. Let me find some.
Yeah, you're right. There's a huge difference between the 36th player off the board and the 58th player off the
Yes.
board.
Is Jackson Dart a top 6 pick in super flex drafts now?
No.
I'm okay. I'll say this: I'm okay.
I don't hate it, but
He has an elite weapon to throw
Yeah.
to. That
I'm
helps.
100% comfortable with it. 100%. I do think Jackson Dart's gonna be kind of we talked about at the end of the podcast, one of the best values for super flex leagues. Where before, like we kind of said, like there's gonna be a first round quarterback kind of slips to pick 111, 112. And a lot of those times you're not in that position to draft a quarterback. that
Dart are the
late.
tight ends
I would.
in tight end premium.
They're both there.
Yeah, if both tight ends are there and Dart's there, where are you going? Because I could see them all being a very similar tier.
If I ever have any remote need, so start at pick
Depends on
6,
QB.
right? From
Yeah.
6 to 12, it's the same answer for me. If I have any need at all in a superflex league, I'm taking the quarterback. Because
Yeah,
again,
take the
there's not a
quarterback.
lot of times you have in your rookie drafts outside from pick 6 to 12. So like mostly the playoff teams, there's not a lot of opportunities you have to grab a first round quarterback because they
Yeah.
usually get swooped up early in these super flex leagues. So anytime I have an opportunity to grab those guys, again, if I have any remote need, and the remote need would be like my quarterback 2 is, I mean, Kyler Murray's probably the board. If I only have 2 quarterbacks, that's a first start.
I will say this: the hit rates for first round quarterbacks, obviously, we've talked about that a lot. The difference between top 10 and after top 10 have been drastically different as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know right away because Russ Wilson's going to start. They also have
Right.
Jameis Winston,
Which
here.
is almost hopeful for him.
Yeah,
like it insulates his value.
and he's tied to Shane and Dable. So like, do they get another chance? I don't know. The owner still could still fire him. And say, hey, here the new GM has to like Jackson Dart, but that could cause some issues with him. But yeah,
and they
I mean,
got rid of their. Did they trade their first round pick or no? No, they were able to
no.
give their second and third, weren't they?
Yeah.
Non-top 10 versus top 10 picks at the quarterback position. If you expand it out to like a top 24 finish, it's about 20% better. So 77%.
What about top 12? Because honestly,
top 12? It's super close. It's like
Is
still, it's like 2%.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting on the first round quarterback, man.
Yeah,
I am.
if those tight ends would have landed in a sexier spot, it would be a little different probably for me. But
But yeah, it's like it goes back to like what's my best return? If Jackson Dart looks okay, number one, he's super athletic, right?
Sure.
He's not a good offensive line. He'll be able to navigate the pocket and move. Might see the death of Russ Wilson earlier. Having Malik Neighbors there.
If those tight ends look okay too. Like teams need those tight ends.
I know, but still, I mean, like again, do we think right now Tyler Warren and Colson Loveland are going to break that elite tier of the top 4 tight ends? Probably not, if I had to guess, right? Like if I had to lean that way. Maybe living more than David Njoku, like tight end 7.
I mean,
range.
you get top 15 draft capital. That's pretty nice.
No, I agree. It's very nice, but again, I'm talking about like that, like a limited opportunities. If you're a true contender, if you can get a quarter, if you need another quarterback, you need a third quarterback. If your second quarterback's old, like I'm taking the quarterback. Like remember, if you're quarterback 18, you're a top 70 overall player.
I don't know what that means. What's that mean?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's show it. Oh, it's a super chat. Super chat from Jose. Appreciate you, bro.
What's up, Jose?
Garrett? You see it there.
All right.
Read it out.
I don't know what the 50 MXN means, but one quarterback, 12 team, half PPR, have picks 101, 103, 106, 110, 112, 202, 203. Where should I trade up or down? Well, first of all, don't trade down from 101. Keep 101 no matter
Keep
what.
103 too.
Yeah, I keep 103.
I would as well. I think the 106 is where you could start to, because I think at that range, we're starting to enter a new tier. More than likely, we'll see what happens with Travion tonight. But we could also see, if Quinshon ends up in a good spot and whatnot. So assuming you don't have to make that deal today, I would love to kind of wait on the 106 because I don't know where that tier break's going to end up being. 110 to 2-3, I view almost all of those as identical values, like as far as in this class right now. So if that's the case, like I honestly, I don't know that I'm moving much. Like I would rather, if anything, rather start trading some of those picks if somebody really likes somebody for proven assets.
Yeah, or getting a 27 draft as well from a bad team. But yeah, I put those on a block, see if somebody's going to overpay on them. I'm with you guys 1-3. I'm keeping because that gives me either Hunter or Hampton most likely. In a half PPR league, you're probably getting Hunter there, but they're coming away,
Or maybe
Ashton
even Ward.
Jeanty, Travis Hunter.
Or no, it's
only one QB.
yeah.
And then at 1-6, yeah, you're probably gonna get another running back, or you can probably have your, like I said, your options at tight end.
Yeah.
And who knows? What if like somebody takes Ted McMillan first and you can get Hampton there even? So
Yeah,
a lot of
absolutely.
options there.
it's tough to answer too without knowing your like team makeup, like who you have, or like if you're rebuild or
Jose's
going
been
for
on
the
our
short.
roster rescue. He knows how
Okay.
this works.
I'm
yeah.
assuming you're in a rebuild.
Yeah, I would think so with
Yeah,
all these picks.
I'm starting at 1-6. I'm gonna put those trades, like those picks, on the block, and anything I can get like to move back. Maybe I can get like pick for 112, pick 205, and it's 27 first. Like once with all those, like the gambles they are, if I can start moving back into the 27 first to start gaining that capital here. Remember, draft time is always the best time to sell draft picks. So like if we're already feeling a little funny, I'm hoping today kind of can swivel that.
I think it will.
Historically, though, no matter what, outside, we still don't know the long-term effects of the 24 class, but even then, Jonathan Brooks is in this range, Trey Benson. These late round, first-round picks and the high second-round picks, their hit rates drop drastically. So, like, your odds of success there, and we're talking about a weak class, it's always best when you have a lot of those to kind of, like, soften the blow to get a little bit more draft capital in the future. Like, keep that one trade asset that never loses value, which is rookie picks, in your back pocket.
Yep.
When those opportunities present yourself, definitely when you're already nailing on 1-1, 1-3, like you have some good shots. Like you don't have to like overdo it here and hope you get the trifecta and every pick you have is a home run, which again, statistically, the odds are going to say that you're not even come close to that.
I have 101 and considering trading it for 103 and either 109 or future first to avoid pairing Genty with fellow Raider Bowers. Should I? Is he thinking about that correctly?
No,
I would have no problem pairing them up with.
Yeah, I think you're totally fine pairing them up. Like,
yeah,
the only
take
time,
Genty.
yeah, take the best available player. The only time you can even like sort of worry about that is if it's two receiving options on the same team. I understand it, but even then, so much changes so quick. Guys get traded and moved and stuff all the time. If you're constantly chasing that, like you're going to have to keep taking less value on players to move them, and so overall, I really do not worry about that. Really, what happens if you have two assets, even if it's two receiving assets on the same team? Yeah, maybe you cap your upside on some weeks, but you raise your floor because chances are one of those two guys are going to have a pretty darn good week.
Yeah, I mean Bowers, the tight end, play moves nothing. I mean, like if I'd have Bowers, Genty, I'd have Chase, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins with Mike Gesicki, and Chase Brown's my running back with Joe Burrow. Like, I mean, I just want the best players available. Like that. Even two wide receivers doesn't like shake me off too much because I'd be comfortable having Brian Thomas and Travis Hunter.
Sure.
I'm comfortable having Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm comfortable having Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams in my roster. I think. Or even like running backs. We've seen running back work with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. So it's just all about touches and usage in a system.
We got a Tristan sent in a $2 super chat, but I don't really have to show that, do I?
There's
a little more than $2.
There's no law that we have to show it.
His name up
What's it
on
say?
the screen.
It's probably
my running back's name
You cheat.
out of your mouth.
Yeah, you cheap ass.
Oh, Cam Scattaboo. How far does he fall if he doesn't go? Well, I don't think we have to worry
Hey
about
Tristan,
that.
you want to throw in a little more money? I might throw you up here, but you're gonna have to. Thanks for the $2 though. You might have
YouTube takes a
already
big
answered
cut.
this, but what is your dream landing spot for it? We can't talk about Henderson enough, right? So, what's your dream landing spot? For
I mentioned it earlier, the Broncos, and I think we were kind of all consensus. Like, yeah, that's the dream.
Some of the Chiefs moved up to get him. That's my dream scenario. Then the Broncos. Then no, actually, check that. My dream scenario is the Browns.
It'd be
It's a
fun.
good open-ended
From a
question.
dynasty standpoint, Broncos. Some of the more realistically, the Browns, Chiefs, Bears, probably.
Does Rich have anything to rant about today? We're here to listen and support.
What do you
Oh yeah, here you go, Rich. Here's your moment.
feelings about the Browns moving back?
Oh, we talked about this beginning.
We talked about it earlier.
I think you ran upstairs real quick. You missed it.
It's just it's the life of a Browns fan.
But do you have anything else you want to rant about?
You want to rant about
You-
anything?
You have anything you're raging inside about?
Ain't overpaid
No.
today, is it underpaid tomorrow?
Nah,
Your
just
toes
a-
cold?
I'm really disappointed Trevor Henderson didn't go in the first round.
Yeah, me too.
That was a big disappointment. I didn't love the land spots. A lot of these guys where they ended up going for the most part. Even Hampton, like it's a great spot, but at the same time, like, I wish it was.
Sucks you kind of lose a little bit of a year.
Yeah, those teams that you want to see, but like that opens up an opportunity for these other teams that we want to take those positions. Now they can take them in the second round, which like realistically, we have these again. This is why we watch the tape and rate the tape, right? For me, if the tape is there and I rate them pre-draft of this position, and then there's guys in the first round that I want to take them here. This be fantastic. Why is it any different than invest a second round pick in that same position? Still in the same offense. He doesn't have the first round, but again, we talk about all the time. A second round draft pick, definitely a running back. Anyway, that's a
Especially
huge investment
early.
for an NFL team. Like they're investing a lot of capital. Definitely a lot of teams that don't have a lot of picks. So
Right.
not yet. But day two, again, I said at the beginning of the show, I need today, the second and third round, to solidify the heart of this dynasty.
Today will
draft.
be
If
huge.
if it does not, this class is literally would be crumbling at our fingertips.
Just so everyone knows, we'll be doing a live stream tonight after the second round. I don't know if Rich will be on or it might just be Garrett.
Might
I
be
hop
just
on
me.
with
I don't
him.
think I get as
It
drunk as I was
depends.
last
It
night.
depends
so
how many
I,
drinks we
I'll
have.
probably be safe. We'll see. Yes, I start drinking at 2.
And Michael, don't feel bad about your
Right. Yeah. We get second and third round. tonight.
Don't feel bad about your $1.99 super chats. Those are much appreciated. It's just Tristan.
Tristan's just he
Yeah.
writes for us. He's one of our writers, and he just likes to throw that in there to
He's
be.
annoying.
It's a Cam
be a troll.
It's a Cam Scotty question. I haven't got any of those from him. So like, well, we can't answer that question though until he goes. If he doesn't
Here's
go
a
round
here's
3.
a question. If Caleb Johnson goes second round to one of those premier spots that we were talking about earlier, how does that affect your rankings in this draft class?
I mean, he would move up a little
It
bit.
depends how everything else plays out too.
Right. It depends on how other things play out, how the other spots are for the other guys.
Yeah.
I tend to not move guys drastically up solely based on draft capital landing spot. Like I still like to keep my guys relatively close to their tiers
Yeah.
pre-draft, because we've seen this happen before where the NFL draft likes somebody, and so everybody moves them all up, and then we're like, oh wait, he's actually not that good. This team just misevaluated, which happens. So I try not to go too crazy. He'll definitely bump at least 2 or 3 spots if he goes to if he goes to the Bears, the first pick of the Bears today. I'd be like, that's a good landing
We
spot.
didn't hate him.
No, he didn't have a bad score.
No, he's
He-
like an RB6, I think.
I think he was
RB7
six
for
or
me.
7, depending
Yeah.
on all of us. But I think all of us had him at 6 or 7.
But if it's nice, it's gonna get a bump because automatically everybody's getting a slight bump because Sanders gets a bump
Down. Yep.
right? But again, we still have Trevor Henderson, we still have Quinshon Judkins out there. Then we have Caleb Johnson, we still have Cam Scatterby, we still have Dylan Sampson, right? These are the names we expect to go, and a ton of receivers. So
And I think we're gonna have another 2 or 3 at the very end of the night that we're like, oh, they snuck into round 3. Interesting.
Yep.
But Caleb Johnson, for me, I think for where he is, he gets I had him in that close to that Sanders tier. So he's probably gonna bump into if he goes high in the second round, that flow of running backs. Like I said, this is the heart of this draft is gonna be running backs. So I want to get the best ones as soon as
Yep.
possible. I don't want to be like, I definitely want to play the game of like how this draft is playing out. Like, oh, I'm gonna take the receiver because this class is so deep at running back. I can
Right.
get
And then
another
you
one
miss
later.
out.
No, give me the guy. I don't want to see any run unless I'm picking like 2 picks later. Like if Caleb Johnson goes second round, it's almost going to define my rookie draft order, right? After Travis Hunter, it's going to be running back. All these guys go in the second round. You got Hampton, you got Hunter, you got Tat, you got a Mecca, and you got tight ends. But like, where do these running backs go? Second round draft pedigree, they're shooting up my boards, and that's where I'm going to grab the
All
value.
right. Do a
Let's
couple more
say-
questions.
Let's say Scatterby gets similar draft capital to Judkins. Let's say they both go in the second round, and Judkins' landing spot isn't great. Scatterby goes to Denver.
Yeah.
Would that bump him up
And Judkins goes to LA.
The
Or no,
Jets.
Cincinnati. The pair up with Chase Brown.
Yeah,
I still don't. It would be close.
it'd be close.
The hard part is Cam would be jumping a tier then, because I had Quinshon in the same tier
Yeah.
as Henderson
Same.
and Hampton.
Yep, me too.
So that's the hard part is he's jumping a tier, which is tough to do in my rankings. I don't know that Cincinnati would be a bad enough landing spot because I think there's juice there, but I do think there's some if he goes to a place and now he's sharing time with, I don't know. I can't think of it because I don't want to go there. But
All right, we got a super chat
all right.
from MOC. I have 101 in a 1 quarterback league. I have Gibbs as my RB1 and I'm weak at running back otherwise. Do I try and move back to 102, draft Hampton, and pick up some more picks? I have a young core and can compete.
I mean, it depends on what you're getting with it.
Yeah.
Like without knowing,
You're getting
no.
pairing
like-
Genty up with Gibbs would be
Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
you're giving yourself 2 of the top 3 running backs in Dynasty right now, both young guys. So not knowing what the extra is, I'm going to say no. Now, if it's a juicy extra, if I'm getting 102 and 105,
yeah.
okay,
It'd be
now we're
different
talking.
If I had Hampton like graded closer to Genty was
Genty was just clearly in his own tier.
Yeah,
Own
I don't have
tier,
his Genty and Gibbs
elite.
personally.
That's where I lean.
Yeah.
You would have to really overpay.
And what's going to happen by doing that as well is like, okay, you're going to get it 1, 2, you're going to get Hampton. Probably going to be nice too. We all say we feel pretty damn confident Genty's going to be really good, right? So now if you do want to make that move, instead of taking Hampton and again, way better odds being okay, but whatever your extra is. So say there's a later pick, it's more of a gamble kind of add on to. If Genty hits the way he's supposed to, now you can just take Genty and flip him for the proven assets and young assets if you want. Remember, if Ashton Genty hits like we think he's going to hit, he enters your Jahmyr Gibbs tier, Bijan Robinson. That's opening the door for you to go get the elite guys that a lot of people have a hard time getting. You need overpay packages, like the guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Drake Londons.
And that's the thing that you could do is if 3 games in, Genty looks like, yep, he's the guy we all thought he was. Like, okay, give me Saquon Barkley to help me still win this year, plus then whatever other position you're trying to add to.
Or you get like, oh, now give me like a guy like Junkins who's in a good spot, maybe not as high of a ceiling, and give me that young receiver, right?
Sure.
And things on those lines. So it's just about what you can get back. Those tier 1 players, those are super elite players, the Bijans, the Brock Bowers right now, Jamar Chases, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors. Like those guys are such like extra, like those are those are where we usually have the overpay guys like you have to get. So when you have a guy like Ashton Genty who's gonna be 21, 22 years old, that's gonna all of a sudden enter that tier, like that's dynasty gold, right? They have a rookie that hits that value so quickly. Again, like a Malik Neighbors. We saw Kyle Pitts and obviously dissipate, but we saw Brock Bowers do it again this year. That is like such a good return and a much proven record of getting proven assets compared to like, oh, my late, some mid first. Like, oh,
right.
The first is value in name, but most likely it's a 50-50 shot. With a player like Genty and those caliber players, you just get proven young assets with the draft capital. So I would lean taking Genty. You have him and Gibbs. That opens the door of anything you want to do because now you can move either. If Genty hits, also maybe most people have Jahmyr Gibbs still as a running back too. You keep Genty, and now you can trade Gibbs and get even more, right? And still fall those holes. So it does open those doors for you when you have 2 elite assets to kind of then flip. And say you grab somebody in the second round, he's good. Okay, now I can flip one of these guys. I have a running back too, but now I can get Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, those kind of players.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for your questions. Garrett, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, no, appreciate you guys. We will definitely be doing a live stream tonight as soon as the draft ends. So as soon as it ends, come right back here. Come to our YouTube page. Find us on X. We're going to be here breaking down day 2 of the NFL draft. Everything that happened. It's going to be long because there's going to be a lot of fantasy moving pieces. And we'll even maybe talk about, hey, who are the guys on day 3 that may have slipped, but could be the next Amon-Ra, the next Puka Nacua. You don't want him to slip, though.
I want Dylan Sampson to go. I want him to put a bow on it. I want Dylan Sampson. I want Trevor Henderson on the Browns. I want some dynasty draft picks to gain some value. Come on, baby.
I feel you. All right.
See you guys.
See you guys later.